What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. We're not giving away thousands of dollars or building a real-life Squid Game. Today we're talking about the most dangerous hackers who've ever lived. These guys aren't messing around with simple pranks or harmless fun. We're about to dive deep into the world of cybercrime where billions of dollars are at stake and governments are scrambling to keep up. Make sure you stick around until the very end, because some of these hackers are so good they were never even caught. First up, we've got the legend himself, Kevin Mitnick. Known as the world's most wanted hacker, Mitnick's story is one of intrigue, skill, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. He wasn't just any hacker, he was a pioneer in the world of cyber espionage. This guy was the real deal, so good that the FBI put him at the top of their most wanted list. Imagine being so skilled at hacking that you become a national security threat. The FBI was on high alert, dedicating significant resources to track him down. Mitnick wasn't motivated by money, he just loved the thrill of the hack. For him, it was all about the challenge, the intellectual pursuit, and the adrenaline rush that came with breaking into highly secure systems. He broke into computer systems all over the world from big corporations to government agencies. It's crazy. He accessed some of the most secure networks, leaving a trail of digital footprints that baffled even the most experienced cybersecurity experts. They finally caught him in 1995, and get this. The guy spent 5 years in prison, some of it in solitary confinement because they thought he could start a nuclear war by whistling into a payphone. The authorities were so terrified of his capabilities that they took extreme measures to ensure he couldn't communicate with the outside world. I'm not even kidding. The fear and respect he commanded were unparalleled. People were genuinely in awe of his skills and the lengths to which he went to achieve his goals. Mitnick's story is seriously intense. It's a tale of cat and mouse with high stakes and dramatic twists that could rival any Hollywood thriller. His life was a roller coaster of highs and lows, marked by his relentless pursuit of knowledge and the constant threat of capture. He even wrote a book about it called Ghost in the Wires. In it, he details his exploits, the techniques he used, and the mindset that drove him to become the world's most notorious hacker. It's a fascinating read for anyone interested in the world of hacking and cybersecurity. The FBI hated him, but they had to respect his skills. Despite being their nemesis, they couldn't help but acknowledge his genius. His ability to outsmart some of the best minds in law enforcement was nothing short of extraordinary. Talk about living life on the edge. Mitnick's story is a testament to the power of curiosity and the lengths to which one can go when driven by passion. His legacy continues to inspire and caution those who dare to venture into the world of hacking. Next up, we've got Anonymous, the Hacktivist group that has become a household name in the world of cyber activism. And these guys are a whole different breed. Unlike traditional activists, they operate in the shadows of the internet, using their skills to fight for justice and transparency. They're not just one person, they're a global network of hacktivists fighting for what they believe in. This decentralized nature makes them incredibly hard to stop. You've probably seen their Guy Fawkes masks. They're like the ultimate symbol of rebellion in the digital age. These masks have become synonymous with the fight against oppression and corruption. Anonymous has been behind some of the biggest cyber protests in history. From taking down websites to leaking sensitive information, their actions have had a global impact. They've taken down government websites, exposed corruption in corporations, and even helped to fuel revolutions. Their reach and influence are unparalleled in the digital world. They're like the Robin Hood of the internet, but instead of stealing money, they steal data and expose secrets. Their goal is to hold the powerful accountable and give a voice to the voiceless. Nobody knows who's really behind Anonymous, and that's what makes them so powerful. The anonymity of its members adds a layer of mystique and invincibility. They could be your next-door neighbor or a tech genius on the other side of the world. This diversity is their strength, allowing them to operate in various regions and contexts. One thing's for sure. You don't want to mess with these guys. Their ability to mobilize quickly and strike effectively makes them a formidable force in the digital age. Get this. Adrian Lamo was homeless and living out of a backpack when he became one of the most famous hackers in the world. Talk about a crazy story. He was known as the homeless hacker because he would literally hack into companies from coffee shops and public libraries. Lamo was a master of social engineering. He would trick people into giving him access to their systems. He broke into some huge companies including Yahoo, Microsoft, and even the New York Times. Can you imagine the headlines he caused? Lamo eventually turned himself in and cooperated with the FBI. He said he never hacked for profit, he just wanted to expose security flaws. He might have been a criminal, but he was also a security expert who helped make the internet a safer place. This one's like something out of a movie. Gary McKinnon, a guy from Scotland, is accused of pulling off the biggest military computer hack of all time, all from his girlfriend's aunt's house. I mean, can you imagine? McKinnon says he was just looking for evidence of UFOs and free energy suppression, but the United States government wasn't too happy about it. They accused him of causing millions of dollars in damage, and even jeopardizing national security. McKinnon fought extradition to the US for years, and his case became a huge deal. People were divided. Some thought he was a dangerous criminal, while others saw him as a kind of folk hero. The case was eventually dropped, but it just goes to show that even a lone hacker can send shockwaves around the world. Alright guys, this next one is straight up scary. Albert Gonzalez wasn't just a hacker, he was a criminal mastermind who made millions by stealing credit card information. We're talking about a massive operation here. Gonzalez and his crew hacked into the computer systems of major retailers like TJX and Heartland Payment Systems. They stole over 170 million credit card numbers and caused billions of dollars in damages. It was one of the biggest data breaches in history. Gonzalez lived a double life. He was a computer nerd by day and a high-rolling criminal by night. He spent his ill-gotten gains on luxury cars, parties, and even $1 million worth of chocolate. Can you even imagine? In the end though, his luck ran out and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Ever heard the saying, "Don't feed the trolls"? It's a common piece of advice on the internet, suggesting that engaging with troublemakers only encourages them. But what happens when the trolls are not just random internet users, but highly skilled hackers? Well, Lulz took trolling to a whole new level. This wasn't just about leaving nasty comments or spamming forums. They were orchestrating large-scale cyber attacks that left a trail of digital chaos in their wake. This group of hackers was all about chaos and mayhem. They hacked into websites just for the lulz, which basically means for laughs. Imagine waking up to find your website defaced with mocking messages, and knowing it was all done for someone's twisted sense of humor. Lulz was like the punk rock band of the hacking world. They had a rebellious spirit, a disdain for authority, and a penchant for causing a scene. Their actions were loud, brash, and unapologetic. They were loud, obnoxious, and they didn't care who they offended. Their targets were chosen not for financial gain or political motives, but simply for the thrill of the disruption. They targeted everyone from Sony and the CIA to the US Senate and even the FBI. No one was safe from their digital pranks. These were not small-time operations. They were going after some of the biggest names in the world. They leaked sensitive information, defaced websites, and generally caused as much trouble as they could. Their actions were a mix of technical prowess and a desire to watch the world burn, at least in the digital sense. Their reign of terror only lasted for 50 days, but in that short time, they made a huge impact. News outlets around the world covered their exploits, and they became infamous in both the hacking community and the public eye. They showed that even the most secure organizations were vulnerable to attack, highlighting the weaknesses in systems that were thought to be impenetrable. Their actions forced many to rethink their digital security measures, and they proved that sometimes even the most skilled hackers are just in it for the laughs. Their legacy is a reminder that in the world of cybersecurity, not all threats come with a clear motive. Sometimes, it's just about the thrill of the game. This one's a real head-scratcher, guys. Guccifer 2.0 is a mysterious figure who claimed responsibility for hacking into the Democratic National Committee's emails during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Talk about a scandal. The leaks caused a huge controversy, and some people believe they may have even influenced the outcome of the election. But here's the thing. We still don't know who Guccifer 2.0 really is. Some people think it was a lone hacker, while others believe it was a state-sponsored attack, possibly from Russia. The Guccifer 2.0 case is a reminder that we're living in a new era of cyber warfare, where information is a weapon and nobody knows who to trust. It's a scary thought, but it's the world we live in now. This last story is a sad one, guys. Jonathan James was a brilliant young hacker who became the first juvenile to be incarcerated for cybercrime in the US. He was only 16 years old when he was sent to prison. James hacked into some major organizations, including NASA and the Department of Defense. He even managed to steal software that controlled critical systems on the International Space Station. Can you imagine the talent this kid had? But James's story doesn't have a happy ending. He was constantly hounded by the authorities and he eventually took his own life at the age of 27. It's a tragic reminder that even the most brilliant minds can be driven to despair. Alright guys, those were 8 of the most dangerous hackers of all time. These stories are crazy, right? It's insane to think that these individuals, some of them just teenagers, could cause so much chaos and disruption with just a few keystrokes. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing content. We're always on the lookout for the craziest, most unbelievable stories out there, and be sure to let us know in the comments which hacker you thought was the most dangerous. Until next time, guys.